Hi, I'm Isis. This was Sistah Scifi. This is Sistah Scifi Wind Down Wednesday, and I'm out here in these digital streets trying hard to make Wednesday your new favorite day of the week. Today, we are discussing the runaway hit Blood at the Root by, hey Gary Firebird, it's been a long time. Okay, I'm back. By LaDarrion Williams. LaDarrion will be joining us shortly. If you follow us closely on social media or are part of our email list, you know that I describe Blood at the Root as the logical, black and magical, black boy joy, YA fantasy of our ancestors' dreams. The plot twist, we're twisting, we were gasping our guts, and we are here for all of everybody else who's read it. If you've read it, please let us know what you thought in the comments. I was here for Malik. I loved Malik's roommate, D-Lo. I was here for Mama Aya. Some of the characters broke my heart, but we won't talk about that. Oh, hey, Winston. With Winston. It was everything. So what did you enjoy most about Blood at the Root? We can start with your favorite characters. Hey, Timothy, you're back. But yeah, please let me know what you enjoyed. It's been a sensation. And if you enjoyed it, there's at very least a book 2. I know I saw that on social media, but probably more. And I think LaDarrion is working on a screenplay. Okay. So, LaDarrion, if you can send me, like, drop something in the chat. Is it just letting me know that you are on your mobile device and on the Instagram app, and then the version of the Instagram app you're using has been updated? Because that could also be an issue. And I'm also messaging you directly on Instagram. So yeah. So just let me know that. Let me know how we can troubleshoot this. And then if you have a hard time accepting my request, you can also send me a join request, and that might help things move along. So Winston, I don't know if it's actually Winston, but that's supposed to be the Winston. Glad you loved Malik as well. Malik's relationship with Taye was actually very beautiful, and I'm 300% here for Uncle Sam or Day or our resident Lola. So those are great characters to enjoy, and all the characters are absolutely amazing. Okay, so Winston and okay. Oh, Winston is fine. Got it. Okay, so I will stick to Winston because that's easier for me. Okay, we are. Okay, so my invite is still okay. So LaDarrion, it still says that you're unable to join. So if you could send a join request instead, then we will do that. The moment with Uncle Sam and Malik. The moment where they first meet each other, they're yeah. I loved a lot of the interactions with Uncle Samade and Malik. Okay, so Tim, oh yeah, I think because maybe I should log back off. Um, if we continue to have troubles with LaDarrion joining, I will log off Instagram because I've stopped and restarted the live, but I haven't logged off. And I'm also sending LaDarrion an email. So that's why I seem distracted, because I am. Oh no, Timothy, you're fine. Yes. Yes, that was a very touching moment and very redeeming. Like that moment the two of them together was on the porch, because at that point, Samade and Malik had been through a lot, to say the least. Okay, so I don't have any requests. I'm sending another. Yes. I mean, a lot of the characters go through a lot. A lot of the characters go through a lot in their relationships to each other. For those of you who've read the book, no spoilers, but was the villain the person that you expected it to be? Yeah, so Diary of a Firebird, I'm calling you by your Instagram handle. I don't know why. I definitely wholeheartedly recommend the book for you. I would be surprised if you don't absolutely like love it, but you know, I've been wrong, but I would be surprised. Hey RJ Dynamite. No, not at all. Oops, now I can't remember the question. Yeah, so Winston, if you can let me know what the question was. Since there's a delay, sometimes I'm like, huh, what was the question? Hmm. So LaDarrion, if you're there, could you just drop a comment in the chat so I can tell if it's a tech issue or if it's a timing issue. Oh, yay!
Oh my gosh, I thought it was at
Oh,
7.
okay. No
Yes, I am so sorry. I'm over here writing book 2, and I was like, yeah, everything's cool. I have it it never switched over in my.
No, no problem. Just if we can see a little bit more of your face, of your beautiful face.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, because like the camera's cutting off. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
perfect.
Let me fix that.
All
One
right, I mean,
second.
I'm glad you're writing book 2 because I finished it and I was like, I'm ready for book 2.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm like, because yeah, I've been traveling, so my calendar is not going back to PST, so I have to manually do it.
Um,
So yeah,
all right.
I'm yes. I'm sorry. I'm getting my I'm getting my ring light
I
together
didn't
so you can
think
see me.
this time we're just happy that you're here because I was like, dang, Instagram is bugging. Like, none of this stuff is.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's been wild. So I'm sorry. I'm glad you text.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you are here. So,
Sorry, I'm putting this
take your
in.
time.
There we go. Okay. Okay. We're getting it. We're getting
Be getting it.
it. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Can you see me? Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yes.
perfect.
That's
Yay.
perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
Yay. How are you?
I'm good. You're here.
Good.
Um,
Yes.
I love Blood at the Root so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like, so thank you for writing it. Thank you for the characters. Thank you for the voice. So I'll just start there.
Yes.
Yeah. For the folks who've like been under social media rock, if you want to start off by introducing yourself, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. My name is LaDarrion Williams, and I'm a playwright. I'm a filmmaker, now author. I wrote the book Blood at the Root, which is a New York Times bestselling novel. Yes, it's my copy is over here somewhere. Yeah, I'm originally from Alabama. I currently live out here in LA. And yeah, I'm currently writing the sequel to Blood at the Root. So literally, it's due in a few, it's due in like in a few days. So me and my editor are getting it together. So yeah, so that's me. I'm the face behind the book as people have been reading it and enjoying it.
So you knew, was it a multi-book deal to start? Because it ends like to be continued. So I was like, oh, like we knew there was gonna, hopefully we knew there was gonna be a book two. Because
Yes, so I knew it was going to be a 3 book deal. And my editor Lisa Abrams at Penguin and Labyrinth Road, we sat down and we talked about the story and the scope of the story, how I wanted it to go in book 2. Because there was talks about it being duologies, and then there was talks about it being a trilogy. So I said I would like a trilogy, because I know how to finish a story in 3 books, especially Malik's story, and the plans that I have for it. So yeah, so it's officially 3 books, and so yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm currently working on book 2. So book 1's been out for a couple of months. So I'm working on book 2 to have that ready to be out next summer. I can't give a date, but yeah.
that's very exciting. So next summer sounds terrific.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, like you raised the bar very high in book 1. So take your time, write a fabulous book. I know it'll be great. Write a fabulous
Thank
book.
you. Yes, thank you, because I'm over here like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed. Yeah, so
I mean, don't be stressed. You'll write a fabulous book, and
yeah, yeah.
the readers will wait. So I'm speaking on like a lot of people read the book. A lot of people fell in love with Malik and Samedi and Taye. So like we will wait. Like Sistah Scifi siblings have waited much longer for
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't like the editor. Your editor may be sitting there like, I said, shut up. But from my point,
No, she's like, hey, you had fun. You had fun promoting, book 1, but you got to get it right, or got to get book 2 ready. So no, she's been great. She's been so supportive, and I'm so glad that the book is doing well. And thank you for supporting the book at your bookstore and getting it out there to your audience, to your readers. So yeah, I appreciate that. We should be supporting Black-owned bookstores, indie bookstores more. And so I really appreciate that.
my pleasure. I also you're writing a screenplay, but I know I'm sure this was obvious in the post, but like, is that I know from my understanding, Blood at the Root started off as a screenplay, and then it became a book. We're gonna get a trilogy, and then is it back as a screenplay? Are we gonna get a TV show or movie or a cartoon or something?
I love how you threw that in. Yeah, so yeah, Blood and Through obviously started off as a it started off as a TV pilot idea. Back in 20, like late 2019, early 2020, I wrote like a pilot script because I was trying to staff on a TV show with that script sample. But after, it going viral on Twitter and just the idea of it, people just kept wanting to know how the story is going to pan out, and they grew with it. So I made a short film that's on YouTube, so you can go to YouTube and watch it, and yeah, it's free. It's free on there. It's different from the book a little bit, but it's kind of some of the same core, things that are on there. So, um, so yeah, it started off there. So, I can't speak too much about, a TV show or a movie, but things are in the works. So I'm gonna just say that, yeah. It's so funny. It's a full circle moment. You start off as a TV show and a book. Now you're going back to a TV show. So yeah, I can't say too much, but we're working on some things.
Okay, I'm here for it. I am totally here for it. So I dropped the link to the YouTube short in the chat. So if people want to see that, it's out there. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
are you ready to talk about Blood at the Root, book 1?
yeah. Let's talk.
I know I should have sent the questions earlier, but I
It's okay.
tried.
Let's go. That's all right. No, we both doing our thing today, so no problem.
Um, so in your intro, you talk about getting some feedback, like getting having to navigate the tropes of Black boys don't read. How did you navigate those tropes and other shenanigans that I imagine you came up against?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. For me, how I navigate it is just kind of showcasing, which I'm so glad that that the book is successful. That showcasing that I think, yeah, young Black men and offering my personal story, like how like I kind of fell out of love with reading,
Mm,
after kind of like in my senior year of high school and struggling to read and finding stories for me. I kind of like stressed that importance to my publishers, to agents and editors and all the powers that be in the publishing industry. I think it kind of attacked it from a place of like, well, if you provide the product, people are going to buy it,
right.
So even down to the T of like putting a young Black man on the cover of the book, and showcasing that statement. Everything about the cover was intentional for me. It was kind of like for me, it was kind of like a non-negotiable. I was like, I have to have a young Black boy on the cover, and he has to be this or that. And taking a lot of that, because imagery is very, very powerful. And I remember going into the bookstores and not seeing that. Right, I used to see Percy Jackson. I used to see like Twilight and Hunger Games. I used to see all of the books that were in the stores, but I was like, well, where's the young adult fantasy books where a country Black boy from Alabama is the main hero? And so I told my publishers that, I told my editors and my team, I was like, this is what it has to be, because imagery, again, is so powerful. It could change, it could sway the minds of folks to believe in things. And so um, even putting the Black boy in a hoodie and reclaiming that, I don't even know if it's a stereotype, but reclaiming that and putting power to that, because just when I was younger, like I was, the Trayvon Martin case, right, was, had to have that talk of like, you can't wear a hoodie. Don't wear a hoodie while you're driving. Don't wear a hoodie at night when you're going to the grocery store or whatever. Like it was just a very tough time. And so I wanted to put a Black boy in a hoodie on the cover to kind of like fight against that again, I don't know the right word is a stereotype, but to fight against that prejudice when you see a young Black boy, because this book is about reclaiming a lot of things, reclaiming our spirituality, reclaiming our magic, and the being the custodians of our own images. That's why I put it in the author's note is, this Black boy is the custodian of his own image. This is his story. These are his ups and downs and his trials and tribulations. And so, I think my publishers are like seeing that, like the success of it, and seeing that it was blast everywhere, on national television. I made sure, I made sure to the producers, I was like, I need my book cover to be blast, because you never know what young boy out there is going to see that. You never, like, there could be a young Black boy from Atlanta or Savannah, Georgia, or like Mississippi or the Carolina or wherever, and they like, oh wow, like that kid on that book cover looks like me. So I really went in and fought that. Said Black boys do read. They just want to read things that are, that's geared towards them. So let's make
Which
more
makes sense.
books.
And I
Yeah.
mean, so we obviously have Malik in a black hoodie on the cover, but we also have the tree in Mama Aya's backyard and the bottles, which have very deep cultural and historical references and meaning in the book. We have the black candles, and
Yeah.
I think this is either Mama Aya's or Malik's mama's grimoire.
Mhm.
So we see so many things that be like as you read the book, you're like, oh yeah, all of that is on the cover.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, intentionality, to showcase not only a Black boy in a hoodie, but him standing on the same soil that his ancestors fought and bled on, right? And also the blue bottles are very significant in the hoodoo spirituality, especially in the South, right? Like we all know what the Spanish moss tree means in Black history. It's meant for a lot of, bad and death, and especially during the Jim Crow era. But again, it's kind of like reclaiming that and having this boy who is the amalgamation, who is the physical embodiment of ancestry, stand on that in power and in glory and in confidence, and saying like, this is him. You're going to see him. You're going to see all of his history. You're going to see all of his pain and his righteous rage, but you're going to see his joy and his the glory and the frustration of what it means to be a Black person from the South. So again, it was very intentional to put it on that book cover.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna skip some of these. Okay. I might skip that one too. So the spells that our characters cast are mainly done in two languages, so Haitian Creole and Yoruba. So how did those become the native tongue of magic in Blood at the Root?
Yeah, good question. So as I was writing the book, originally, like even in the script, they would just say like the language, like they would just say the spells out loud. But I wanted the magic and the history of the magic to be doused in Blackness, and usually, in fantasy, you hear you make up languages, but I was like, we don't got time for that. But I wanted the language to sound very powerful and very like that it invokes something. And when you listen to Creole and when you listen to the history of the language and how powerful it is, and how a lot of times in Haitian history that they would yell out things in Creole to invoke their spirits and their ancestors and their gods. And I wanted the magics to be uh endowed with Blackness and with and not European aesthetics. And so I just wanted to make sure for that. So I chose Creole and I chose Yoruba because I love the Yoruba cosmology. I didn't know about the Orishas until in 2012, 2013, when I Googled, because I got tired of learning about Greek mythology. I was like, okay, we get it. There's Zeus, there's Hera, there's Hercules, but there has to be more mythologies and cosmologies out there. So when I discovered the Orishas, when I discovered a Black man shooting lightning and fire from his hands, when I saw a Black woman standing in the middle of the ocean and she's commanding the ocean, I was like, whoa, what? I've never seen Black gods before in this. So, and to know that they spoke Yoruba, they invoked a lot of their incantations in the Yoruba. I wanted to kind of pay homage to that. From my knowledge, I'm not sure if I come from, I have a Yoruba background. I probably do, because I always felt very close to it. But, I just wanted to kind of pay homage to that and to show that the beauty and the complexity in that language.
And I think that's the multifaceted of the Blackness in Blood at the Root. It's very nourishing to me. I just want to bring in this comment. Here for the magic systems that were rooted in Blackness, it offers a legacy of magic and power that's been stolen from us. And I 100% agree with that, because a lot of times when you watch witch shows, even if the witch themselves are melanated, they're still doing casting spells in Latin. And I'm just like, I don't know if we all casting spells in Latin.
Right.
I'm jumping around in what happens in the book. So Baron is heterosexual, but his roommate Dilo is bisexual and speaks to the challenges of being a bisexual Black man.
Yeah.
Why did you feel like it was important to include that in Blood at the Root?
Yeah. One is college, so you're gonna meet people from different types of lives and different experiences. As I talk to friends and different people from different backgrounds, one thing a lot of people are saying, they don't really get to see representation of a Black man who is bisexual and who is very confident in his bisexuality. And so I wanted to include that. One, D'Angelo D'Lo is from Selma, Alabama, so him and Malik has that. They have that in common, right? But also to see this young brother, be confident in his sexuality and kind of explain. And we're going to see a little bit more in book 2 and book 3 about his experience being a bisexual Black man from the South, and the kind of like the little stereotypes that comes with that, and like like the DL, and like the like just the kind of like the struggles that he faces with that. So I wanted to include that because we really don't get to see a lot of times a perspective from a Black man who is bisexual and who's dealing with both, and not just coming out, like that those stories are very important as well, but just to see a young Black man that's already, confident in his sexuality, and he likes, like he tells Malik, I like what I like. Are we gonna have a problem? Malik is like, nah, bro, like I'm cool. And so it's just to showcase that different side of, a Black man, because this book is dealing with a lot of vulnerability between young Black men in the same room. And so I wanted to kind of like showcase that and make people feel seen with the character of D'Angelo D'Lo. So yeah.
And I appreciate that. So like I identify as queer. Hopefully that's obvious. And I think a lot of times like my identity is fractured. Like in this space I can be a sci-fi nerd. In this space I can be super Black. In this place I can be super queer. So like about Blood at the Root is super Black and it's super queer at the same time. And it's super nerdy. It's like I can bring all parts of myself. Diary of a Firebird says, now I really need to read the book. So before you join, I was telling Diary of a Firebird, like, I will bet a lot, not my life, but a lot that they will like the book. And now we're talking about it. And they're like, oh, yeah, I can see what y'all talking about. I was like, I told you. So my next question is, Malik Barron's voice is so rich and authentic, which I thought was amazing. And I got to, like, I immersive read it. So I was reading the book while listening to the audiobook, which deepened that experience for me. And it's a very unique voice for YA literature. So like Unique Baron is super smart, but he's not super nerdy. He's not really bookish. Like he uses profanity. How did you channel this voice and make it so authentic?
Yeah, that comes from being a playwright, right? As a playwright, we listen to people talk, and we listen to the dialects, and we listen to the way people weave words together when they're very comfortable with their friends and their family. I think we're all different, right? Like the code switching that we always talk about, like, we talk different when we're in a classroom setting or when we're at our jobs, but when we're on the phone or when we're in the vicinity of our friends, we talk very reckless. We talk different. We talk with a little slang and a little twang and like, very country, right? And again, it was coming from a place of wanting to hear a young boy from the South that has the twang and may not speak in a very grammatically correct form, and that's okay too. Because I always talk about, not I bring my playwriting over to the book writing, but I stand on the shoulders of August Wilson and Zora Neale Hurston and how they captured the language of the everyday people and the poetry of the South. Like, sometimes when people write Southern characters, I'm like, I don't know. Like, my mama don't talk like that, or my cousins don't talk like that. So, and it's so beautiful to see it and to have it spark some conversations surrounding AAVE, and different different styles of languages in books. Because I didn't want my teenage main character to sound like he got a 750 credit score and he works, in corporate America. I wanted him to sound like, he's from the South and he weaves words together that may not make sense sometimes, but that's how he communicates. Because it was just so beautiful when I was at home and one of my cousins, they were reading the book, and they're the same age as Malik, and they live in the same neighborhood as Malik, and he's reading the book, and he said, "Yo, like Malik sounds just like how we talk." Like he never experienced that and he told me he never experienced that in a book before. And so it's just again, it's capturing the language, and it's paying homage to those who may not, we all have different backgrounds. Again, we speak with a different tone and a different dialect, And it's not to say whoever speaks proper, that's not okay. But it's also not to say that it's, whoever speaks with a little twang and a little country, like that's not okay either, because there's a lot of poetry in the South. And just like, Outkast said, the South got something to say. So it's just, I wanted it to make sure that it was authentic. I wanted the characters that are like Mama Aya, she speaks with that, you could tell that she's from another time. I wanted Baron Samedi to speak with, he speak with this Southern swag. Like I wanted Chancellor Terran Bonclair, he speaks with a very, proper English. So you see a different multifaceted of people in the way they speak, because in the South, you have people who speak, different. And I wanted them to be seen and reflected off the page, because just like how Zora recorded folks who talk like that, in Eatonville, and most people said like, why you got these country black people in this book like talking like this and cussing and blah blah blah. It's like, no, but she was showcasing the poetry of the everydayness of people. So I wanted people like my mom to be heard in the book like this. I wanted my aunties and my cousins and my uncles, who the world may say, people say that the South is this, they sound dumb, they sound this, but be some of the most smartest people in the room. And so I wanted to highlight that and showcase that with Malik's voice.
I agree. And what I'm pulling up is that you reference Zora Neale Hurston a lot. And so the start of chapter 26, page 281, and it starts off with their skin is black as midnight. I am not an actor, so I will not read it. But when I read that, the next, it felt like an homage to Zora Neale Hurston. I think you're right. Like, and they were watching God. Like I was like, oh yes, like I see this. And I loved it. Like I loved how steeped it was, and not just like Black references, but just like really reflection of Black culture. So now I'm gonna switch. The villain is not who it was not who I thought it was going to be, right? How, I mean, or maybe I was asleep at the wheel. How did you choose who the villain of Blood at the Root was going to be? With no spoilers, obviously.
So spoilers. Yeah, that's a good question. Because when we have the big reveal of the villain, like people wanted to like come left field. And for me, I didn't want it to be the oh my. And some people have this reaction. They're like, I didn't think it was that, or I'm like, oh well, I knew it was that the whole time. It was written to be that way, because I didn't want to cheapen. For me, this is for me. I didn't want to cheapen it to say like, this is the villain of the week, and we gotta, it's gotta be this big surprise. I wasn't really harping on it to be the big surprise. Again, it's a surprise for most people, but we see in the beginning of the book how Malik navigates his life through childhood trauma, and that's what I'm really trying to explain, in the book, how we view childhood trauma through the lens of magic, and to kind of kind of say who is good and who is bad, because a lot of the people, what I loved about like Killmonger was like, it's like, yeah, he did some questionable things. I mean, he did kill people who looked like him, but the complexity of his character was like, well, he did that because it's like, well, y'all are kind of like sitting high on the hog, and you got all these resources and you're not helping people. Like, I don't understand that. And in the end, we have my critiques of how he went to the UN. T'Challa went to the UN at the end of the book, end of the movie, but I don't know. Like, was he fully in the wrong? Like, are these characters who in the book, are they fully in the wrong? In in their pursuit of what they want, they've all been hurt. And Malik says it in the book. Hurt people, and now I know that. And so it's just like getting to the root. I feel like the villains, in the book, just haven't got to the root of what hurt them a lot. So without spoilers, I chose that for a reason, because so often Black kids they have a lot of hard times when it comes to not only just friends but like family, and wanting to be protected and wanting to be seen and heard, and loved. And sometimes generational, I think the real villain is the generational stronghold. It's the generational curse that is placed on a lot of people. And unfortunately for kids like Malik, he has to be the chain breaker in his family, and when it comes to the generational curse. So, the people being the villain, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it is so surface like that, because it's like everybody had their own reasoning, and like they may go about it a different way and like the wrong way, but it's complexity. It's providing complexity and to each person that that you would consider the villain, in this book. And so I wanted to attack it from that lens. I didn't want it to be like this. Again, to me, when I was writing it, like this big reveal, it's kind of like you kind of get inklings of who it is the entire time. It's just now we got to the real surprise is why. Some people, I think a lot of times we put the villain as this and this, but like, well, why? Like sometimes I'm like, well, why is that villain that way? Like why? Like why did they become that? Like I'm interested in that. I'm not interested in like, even though there's some great villains in stories, like I'm like, dang, like these are some great villains. Even like in the Vampire Diaries and the originals, right? Like Klaus was Klaus really a villain, or was he just a hurt person and he was just hurting people? I mean, he did some villainous things,
right,
but
right. I'd be like, oh no, Klaus is definitely the devil, but
well, yeah, because he did some things. I was like, yeah, he did some things. I'm like, okay, but again, if you take that away, if you kind of dig deeper, it's like, well, why? And then you get to the why, because his mom, his dad, and the brother that end up dying because of his nature, right? So, yeah, I'm more interested in the why and the root of who we are as people. So it may be good, it may be bad, but who's to say what's good and what's bad?
Right.
So yeah, those are like some things we're going to be exploring in the trilogy.
And it was great because in the layout of the novel, what really comes to light is that we're all the heroes in our own story, and we're probably the villain in somebody else's story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have a character that cares about Malik say like, so I love you, bruh, and you probably need therapy, right? And says it with like love and care, and like for that to be a message in a YA book, I was like, yeah, that's powerful. Because I've read some books, I was like, the characters go through a lot, and it's like, oh, we good. I was like, you should not be good.
Yeah,
I want you
exactly.
to like to comment. This book is blackety black. It felt very FUBU for us by us. With lots of cultural references. So thank you for that. Okay. So in a couple minutes, we're going to transition to the this or that portion, which is my second favorite part of the live. This is a comment, not a question. I was living for the cameo on the last page. I was just like, the Black Witch in me just thanks you so much. I was looking for that cameo. So the last question before the this or that is, what are you watching right now? What period? If anything.
So I'm just getting into Law and Order SVU.
What?
No, so random. I know.
I've watched like every single episode.
Ooh, I don't know. I started from season 14 because I was like, now wait, now there's how many seasons?
There's like 25 seasons or something like.
I was like, well, let me start because I think in season 14 there's a big transition. So I was like, well, let me start there, and if I really like it, because I don't know how I got on the Law and Order like TikTok, but I'm like, dang, some of these episodes be good. Like I was like, I kind of want to go watch them in full. So so I'm watching that right now, and also it helps me like kind of when I'm working when I'm in the world of Cayman all day. I just want to kind of like just it's a weird. I know it's very weird because it's like, dang, because Law and Order is very intense. But it just helps me kind of, just kind of unwind. So yeah.
I watched so much Law and Order SVU. Like I was like, I've seen people grow up on this show, so I'm here for it. And usually people are like, huh, Law and Order SVU. I was like, they write some good shows.
Yeah.
I saw you Kiki about Interview with the Vampire. Have you watched the trailer for season 3?
Wait, they got a season 3 trailer?
Yeah, it's more like a teaser. I was not at San Diego Comic Con, but
I
it
was
was
there. I was there because I was going to try to get into their thing, but I was like, I'm ready to go back to LA. So, so okay, I gotta watch season 3 because the way they did my girl Claudia, I'm like, really? That's how we gonna do it? That's how we gonna do
Right.
it? Okay.
I was hurt. I was like, oof. But I was
Dang, that
like,
hurt.
is that what happened? I was like, maybe that's what happened. I had not read the book, so I was like, maybe that's what happens in the book. But I was really hurt, and
I think so.
I
Yeah,
was
I think it happens in the book like that. But like, you know, it's coming. You just don't know. It was just brutal. Like,
I
dang.
cried. I
Yeah, that
cried.
was brutal. That was Armand. It's on site. Like it's on site when I and Lestat. It's on site when you know. So yeah, it was brutal. It was very brutal.
And Lestat is definitely one of those like I consider Lestat a villain, but he's a very compelling, sexy, adorable. I was like, I'm not trying to have feels for Lestat, but here I am. So
I'm definitely team Louis, but yeah, like
I'm like, no, that's no question. It's Louis
yeah.
all day, every day, particularly in this show. But when Lestat all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But when Lestat walks in a room, I'm like, damn you, Lestat. Anyway,
Yeah.
last question about what you're watching. Are you watching Domino Day on Amazon? I watch a lot of television, if you can't tell.
No, I'm not because I try to get into Supercell. So I'm gonna once I turn my book in, I'm gonna watch Supercell and Domino Day. Like I just like again, I'm trying to watch stuff that kind of like helps me unwind. Because when I watch TV shows, I like to study and I like to be like,
You're right.
yeah, like I like to be a nerd when I watch TV shows. So it's just yeah, like I have so much to catch up on. So I've been seeing the trailer like every time I sign on Amazon Prime, but yeah, I haven't got into it yet.
No rush. It'll be there when you're ready. I really enjoy Domino Day, and I think you'll see like some
Yeah,
similar themes.
yeah,
Okay, this or that. Are you ready?
yeah.
Okay, Killmonger or Black Panther?
Killmonger.
Okay, same. Um, Samide or Papa Legba? Ooh, that was.
Mm, Papa Legba.
Huh,
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Well, because I just wrote a scene with that character. So, oh,
Okay.
that's a little spoiler for book 2. Yes, Papa Legba shows up. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I, I mean, I was already in for book 2 regardless. The Orishas or the Loa?
The Orishas.
Okay. Um, Marie Laveau or Tituba? Yeah.
That's kind of hard because I'm taking creative liberty. Okay, no, Marie Laveau because Angela Bassett. I'm sorry, like that was just one of the best TV performances ever. Like so,
hey, I was like, oh my goodness.
yes,
Yeah.
she was the supreme. But that's not here there.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, definitely. Angela Bassett all day, every day. And last one, Bonnie Bennett or Rochelle Zimmerman from The Craft.
Wow. Um. mm, mm, mm. I don't know. Rochelle was a little. She was a little fake. I don't know. So I'm gonna go. She was a little fake. She was a little fake. So I'm gonna go. I love Rachel True. Don't get me wrong. I love her, and it was so cool to see a black girl as a witch. But I'm gonna go with Bonnie. I'm gonna go with Bonnie Bennett because there was some episode. There was a lot of episodes when Bonnie had that expression magic and she was tearing everybody up, and I was like, yes, break these bones and give them the migraines. Like, so I'm gonna go with Bonnie Bennett. Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for it. I love them both. Um, this was amazing. I will let you go back to writing book 2. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you
Okay.
for staying on. I'm so sorry again for being late. I didn't want to do that. I really thought it was at 7. I was like, oh shoot.
No. You're totally fine. I I feel like time is a really fluid construct, and I blame it on my West African heritage. But when I say that, my parents are like, "Don't say that in public." So you are totally
Yeah, I get
fine.
it. It really is like, especially with iPhones, they when you travel, they don't update. You have to like go in. Well, with mine at least, I have to go in and manually and say PST instead of like where I was. So yeah, but I appreciate this. This was so dope.
same. So hopefully we'll have you back
Of course.
next year sometime. Book 2 is out. I'm excited. And congratulations again. You wrote a terrific book, and I'm glad it's so well received.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for this.
Of course. All right. Talk soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.